Hello everyone, it's Bubbles from Venom Fluid Art. Hope you're enjoying the Fluid Art Express today with all our amazing art family. Aren't they just fantastic every week, bringing you a new adventure? So I hope you just watched Shannon, ShanB Fluid Art. Absolutely awesome artist and just an awesome person. I really can't speak more highly of her. So today, we are blooming. I figured I've been doing swipes for a few weeks and playing with my butterflies, so I thought I'd bring out some stars. So what we're going to do is we're going to bloom on 2 stars. So this one's sort of a little bit smaller than one of our 4-inch coasters that you practice on. And then after this one, I have the biggest star, which is about 10 inches on MDF. So I thought today it's good for people to see when they're practicing different shapes, sizes, different colour amounts, different amounts of CA you use when you're practicing on different sizes. So let's see how we go today. So the first colour I've got coming up today is, of course, a custom orange by Venom himself. So fortunately I know there is a little bit of interference gold in this, but I'm not sure what orange he did use as the base. But it is a really gorgeous colour. I never used to be one to play much with orange, but once I sort of started, especially with red and yellows, a little bit of gold, I just realised how much with a black CA it pops. It's just really cool. The only thing I think you've got to be sort of mindful of when using orange with different colours is just how much it can want to steal the whole piece. So that can be one thing to sort of look for when putting down other colours with orange. And that's only going to come with getting your little coasters out and practicing with different amounts. Eventually we all get it right, and out come the zingers. So this one's just a a Barnes neon orange. Really gorgeous colour. Really gorgeous colour. I love this one. So I am putting quite a bit of the oranges down today because I'm going to let them take over and have the piece. I just think they're going to make this shine pretty cool. Alright, so I think now what we might do, I've got a Barnes neon yellow. We might add a bit of that to our palette now. And this one to me looks like Venom's been at it. Definitely been at it. It's either got a little bit of pearl or something in it, because it's just got a really gorgeous shine coming off it. It's not just a straight neon. He has a habit of doing that. Not that I'm ever going to complain. Never going to complain. Alright, so I think now what we need is a little bit some eye candy. Now this is a really cool colour, and the reason I'm using this colour is actually not for the colour itself, it's what it's going to do in between these colours. So this is actually cherry red by Eye Candy, and what this does to other colours, or if you put it on last and then put a black CA over the top, the effects are brilliant. Really, really cool. So have a play, have a try with that, because you won't be disappointed. Now I'm going to bring out a TLP. So this is one of my other favourite colours to play with. Now this is another one. Even though I do love the look of this colour, this I always use with other colours just for the way it enhances other colours. So I've noticed different blues, purples with this colour, the cells look amazing. You get some gorgeous highlight and effects coming through. So not one I always use just because I go, wow, I love the look of that colour. It's what I know it's going to do to other colours. So that's another cool thing with putting colour palettes down. Think about what that colour can do to the next one. Now with this one, it's another eye candy, and look at the depth of that red. Isn't that just, that is divine. So with this though, because this can really take over, and I only want the tiniest little drop in the centre because I want that to react with the cell activator. And that colour, to me so far personally, always does. So before we put our CA down, we're going to get rid of some of these little pesky bubbles so they don't upset us. Because on the Express we like to stay smiling politely. Right, so cell activator time. So on this size, you sort of look at your puddle, and we've got a really quite a good size puddle for this little piece. So I don't want to go overboard, but I want enough so I get my cells right to the edges, because that's the idea of our bloom. Alright, I think we're ready to give this a go. Let's fire George up. Now the joy of the stars, where we got them edges there, if that cell activator's too thick, run it off it. See there? We can pull her off and still open up the rest, and it looks crazy cool. So I use that bit if I've got too much. That's my escape route. Alright, we might just get our straw out. Here they come. That's going to be cool. Alright, now what we might do, just get some little fancy edges going on with that and point them up to the corners. I don't think it really needs a lot. Not on something this size. Sometimes less can be best. I'll keep a little bit of style there. So there's all our points matching. It's the ACD coming at me. Alright, so we just might wipe some of that off so it doesn't stick to it on me, because it is tiny. You just have to excuse me if you can still see that while I spin this out a little bit. Alrighty, so this is going to be our first little mini star. So I reckon these two can be really cool for playing with Christmas decorations with the kids, and you know, there's all different things you can do and get the family involved, or you might just want to make a project, and that can be a pretty cool piece to put on top. So what we're going to do is pause there for a minute. I'll get my cameraman to give you a zoom in of that one, and then I think we will go for the big guy. Well, alrighty then, we are back with our biggest star. So this one's about 10 inches, Guru?
Yeah, from tip to tip.
So we're going to rock it with some custom oranges, because I just had a complaint in the break there that I was running out of orange. So the guru fixed that, because now we've got to remember we've got that bigger space to cover with our colour palette. So when we all first start off, you're all playing, well, I did anyway, don't know whether everyone did, but you play with the smaller size 4-inch coasters and getting the feel for different things, techniques and whatnot. But you also get used to what size colour palette to put down a puddle to cover the area that you're using. So I found personally for me, like when I started to go to the bigger tiles, and Darren would more or less say to me, okay, you're ready now, you've done enough of those smaller coasters, it's time to step it up. But then I sort of thought, well, I had no idea how much colour to put down. So a good trick he actually showed me was he got like a good sized cup, and he put it upside down, and what it actually did was he put it right in the middle of the pillow here, so it gave me a ring. So it gave me just that little bit of a guide to remind me that I was no longer on a smaller tile, and that we were stepping it up to a larger piece. Because the colour, the amount of colour you actually put down is really important, especially when you're doing a bloom, because you really want it to, like, you know, some people may want that little bit of negative space, so that's why, you know, we only put so much colour down. But if you want it to go to the edges, you need to put enough colour down. So it was actually one of the best tips he showed me, was to remind you that larger piece, more colour. And I just thought definitely would share that with you guys today, because it is really important. And especially when the first few I tried, I was sort of like, I had this really cool bloom or swipe in the middle, and then when I'd spin it out, wouldn't even go anywhere close to my edges, and it was like I was starting to take it personal, like what was I doing wrong? And the bloom was good, technique, everything like that was good, but just couldn't get it to go to the edges. So I had a chat to the guru, and as he said, if you want it to go to the edges, more colour. And it's just little things you just got to get your head around, I suppose. If you want that zinger at the end, it's more than just blowing it out right, it's having enough colour as well. But we live and learn. That's what it's all about. So at the moment I'm just putting down all these colours. I'm not telling you what they are, only because they are all customs today. All customs. And Darren will probably be really happy because he loves orange, so he would have been happy to make these up for me, I'm pretty sure.
He was over the moon. There's no brown involved.
No brown involved. So I just thought that was a good thing today, just to show people the difference between two shapes, two different sizes, but showing people that that puddle has to expand as it's getting bigger, your pieces underneath. Because if you don't, it just can upset you when you get to the end and think you've done an absolute stunner and it just doesn't spin right. Alright, now that colour I'm definitely going to share. That is a Cherry Red by Eye Candy. And when you mix that, like, I'm not using that because of the colour it looks like there. I'm actually using it because of what it's going to do to the other colours. It just gives these sensational effects. It's really cool. So I think I need one more wombatted colour here. And I think we've almost got enough down there now. We've got a really nice colour puddle spreading out for us. Because you've got to think, especially when you're doing the stars, and we're going to start to blow out our bloom and move our colour around, we're going to go up into the peaks of the star. So we want that colour to go all the way across these. So if we've only got a small amount, you're only going to get so far. So more colour, the better. So, a little bit of this gorgeous red. Stunning, this one. This is actually a super red russet by Pearlex, and it's definitely been wombatted because it's a lot richer. A lot richer, look at that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So, I'm not using this one for its colour though today. It's because when I put that CA down, I want it to change the colour of the CA and just blend through. And that's the cool thing about some colours. They have a crazy, crazy cool effect once you put that CA down. So that's another thing to keep in mind too when you're doing different blooms and putting down different colour palettes. That last colour, sometimes to me, can be the most important one depending on what colour CA you're going to use. Because obviously if you're going to go for a white CA, I don't usually put a light colour down last, only because I think a darker colour with the white CA just makes it really pop. Where when you're using black, I like the lighter colours because the black CA just, it shines through. And you can see its effects so much more vivid. Alrighty, I think we are ready to go. So, another thing Venom taught me, especially if you're using the mini blower, if you want cells, use a good puddle of CA, because when you blow it out by mouth, it does, the size of your puddle, it all changes. So that looks like a lot, but it's really not when you're using the mini blower. But if I was doing it by mouth, I'd definitely have a lot less on there. Alrighty, let's do this, George. Alrighty, we might leave him there. So far, so good. So as you can see, I had too much CA sitting here just the way I blew it out. So that's why on these bits of the star there, I use them to blow the excess off. Good technical tip from Bubbles. Works for me. And the other thing I did learn from Venom, if you are going to go in like this now and blow out with your straw, bring it back a bit. Because, yeah, if you get too excited and you start blowing into it, you're blowing through the pillow. So keep a little bit of a distance. Like get in, get your little blow, and then bring it back. See, and that way we get the orange coming through and we're not worried about the white pillow. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that, so I think we might grab our magic skewer out and let's do something with these edges. There we go. Must be the ACD in me, because I find if I start to draw out to one peak, we've got to do the same on all of them. But that's the thing. Everyone learn and explore. Find your one thing that's unique to you. Do I leave that? No. Bit bold there for my liking. There we go. So I think she's going to spin out quite nice. We might take her for a drive, hey? See what we get. So that's what we've got before we've spun her. So as I said, see how we just had that nice bit of colour? I like a little bit of negative edge on her star. And let's just see how she spins for us. So we're just going to take her a little bit cruisy to start with, just so we can see how it's going to spin out for us. But you can see what I mean by that centre. That last colour was that super red russet, and the CA is not black, and it's sort of trailed through, which is really cool, just for some different effects. And that's the thing, sometimes you just find some of these things by mistake, and it ends up a happy dance. They're my favourite moments. Alright, so I only had quite a thin pillow on this one today, so I think that might do her, and we'll pop her up so you can have a good look at her. I'm sure my amazing cameraman will do a fantastic close-up reel so you can have a look. And I hope that helped a little bit today, just for people first starting out, because I know that really got to me at first, just different sizes and learning different puddles and things to use. So I hope it gave you something. If not, I hope you enjoyed what we got in the end. So that is it for me this week, guys. Next up after me, we have the amazing Tony, the hippy dippy painter man, and possibly his lovely wife Kat, the dynamic duo themselves. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed. Take care, stay safe, and I'm sure I'll see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day, guys.